now. Hollywood, Hollywood, no looking down. Hollywood now. Hollywood, Hollywood, no looking down. Hollywood now.
Hello. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another interview with Hollywood Now. We are so excited when we bring you one-on-one Hollywood star power, insiders, and influencers. Just letting you know how they get around, how they navigate, how they maneuver through Hollywood, and the wonderful things that they have to endure, and their wonderful, great experiences. They come to share it with you on our wonderful platform. We do it without our sponsors. We want to thank Heart to Heart for You, as well as Amanda, J. Rosette physicaltherapy.com, GQAutoConnect.com. Thank you so much. And if you guys have not subscribed, please take this time right now to subscribe. Make sure you share this video. We will greatly appreciate it. That is our handles up there now. If you want to support us directly, that's the Cash App as well. Everything you do go back into the platform and help support us to continue to move everything forward. So guys, thank you for that. Make sure you guys subscribe. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We are on LinkedIn as well as YouTube. Everything James Claiborne and King Solomon Entertainment. You can find us. We thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Without further ado, we are so excited to have this next guest on Hollywood Now. Just another level for us. We have great people on here, but this one we're so excited because I'm a huge fan. Where do I start? They went to Mountain View Academy of Theatre Arts in London, right? Okay, Dayton Contemporary School of Dance, appeared in Broadway, The Lion King, and Miss Saigon. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Films such as Amnesia, Roxanne, The Interpreter, as well as the appearances on the sci-fi fiction Manifest, Fox, Mayan, MC, Netflix, House of Cards, and the great new Steven Spielberg movie, The West Side Story. He landed the role of Abe. And last but not least, I'm talking about the mayor himself. Otis Duga Perry is here. Brother, thank you so much for coming on. What's going on? Curtis Cook.
King Solomon, my dude. Thank you, man. Thank you for that introduction, bro. Sound like I did a lot of good things, huh? Sound like I've been around for a minute.
What a great story. What a great character. What a great introduction to the world platform of acting. And you have such a great character that really just make people a household name. And your character on The Chi is doing just that. Wonderful, great show. So I'm going to get into The Chi a little later. Right now, I want to let you know a little bit about you. So I'm giving an introduction. I always start on, like, where did it start for you? Arts, entertainment. I know you're a lover of art. Where did it all begin for you?
Well, man, you know, I'm an old head, so I've been around for a minute. So this might take us about 4 days to go through this story. But I'm going to start it. Try to condense it as quickly as possible. Okay. I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio. I'm the oldest of 5. Clifton Cook and Alice Cook are my parents. My mom passed about 4 or 5 years ago. My father is still kicking and doing his thing in Dayton, Ohio. All of my siblings are still there. I started singing and dancing. I thought I was going to be like this major singer dancer when I was in elementary school, man. And by the time I got to junior high, I started drama. And I started dancing with DCDC, like you said, Dayton Contemporary Dance Company. And then after that, started doing like local productions, man, like just home productions, musicals in the summertime and in the wintertime. And then during school, there was a huge organization called the Muse Machine that I got involved into, ran by this woman named Susie Pisani. And it's a great organization where they took all the children from the area. So at one point we could have like over 3,000 children audition for a musical for that year. And then we would do that musical at one of the biggest halls in Dayton, Ohio, which seated about 15 to 1,600 people. So it was a big deal for us junior high and high school students to be involved in that. And I landed the lead in all of those. I started that in my sophomore years, junior year and senior year. And you know, I'm from Dayton, man. So a lot of it was like, and from a lower middle class family, man. It was time when our lights and shit wasn't on. It was time, you know, when we was working. My father was a truck driver. My mother was a bus driver all of her life. like I said, I'm the oldest of 5, and we were making it, man. You know, we didn't really know what poor was at the time because it was just life, you know.
Yeah.
My dad made sure we tried to stay away from the streets as much as he could, but you know, sometimes as you're young and you're a boy, certain things call you in certain ways.
Yeah.
So I was a knucklehead in a lot of ways, and I say that theater and this business saved my life, man. Because if I had gone down a path that I thought that I was going down, a lot of my compadres and friends that are no longer with us, man. They got taken out pretty early. But like I said, so I joined the Muse Machine, and after the Muse Machine, after my senior year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to the Navy. You know, I'm gonna go to the Navy, get me a little money, a little education or whatever, maybe come back to school. But then I was gonna work with Montgomery County where my grandfather and my father worked. And, you know, I was like, hey, I'm gonna make what, $20,000, $30,000 a year, man. I'm gonna get me a little small house in the suburbs somewhere, get me a wife and live life. And I told this to this woman, man, Miss Susie Pisani, and she was like, oh no, darling, you have too much talent to go into. And I was like, okay, lady, thank you very much. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, lady, but I got things to do. You sound like you're a little off. But she was right, man. So she subsequently she knew this principal at the school in England, Mountain View. And every year they used to, I don't know if they still do this, but they used to come to the States, and they would audition in Chicago, New York, and LA. And because they were friends, she and he came specifically to Dayton, man, to Dayton, Ohio, and auditioned me by myself.
Wow.
By myself, dude. So I did a monologue, I danced for him, I sang for him. And we sat down and talked, and he was like, and he said, hey, I want to have your parents and nobody come in. And we all came down there, me and my mom, my dad, and Miss Pisani. He was like, listen, we think you're great. We would like to offer you a position in the school. So, you know, I'm like, what? Hey, yeah, I'm happy as hell, man. So I'm like, okay. So we go back home, and my dad and my mom, who love me dearly, they was like, sounds like a great idea and a great opportunity, but we ain't got no money like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Easy come, easy go. I went back to Miss Pisani, and I said, thank you very much. I'm not going to be able to do this because we can't afford it. Once again, she was like, hold on, young buck. Give me a second. I'm like, okay. I mean, I'll hold on. I don't know what you're talking about, but you messing up my plans, lady.
Right.
And no, man, she talked to them, man, and I don't know what she said and how it worked out, but they ended up giving me a full ride, bro. Full ride to Mount View Theater School, and at the time they were like one of the top 5 drama schools in England, over RADA and a lot of other places, and once again, that was the thing that changed the course of my life forever.
Yeah, but kind of explain that a little bit from Dayton, Ohio, Midwest. I'm from Chicago, so I'm gonna talk about that later. To London, like, can you even grasp that? What that was like?
At the time, I could not, bro, because like we hadn't like I don't want to keep harping on the fact that we didn't have a lot of money because we had a lot of love in my house.
Yeah.
We just didn't have the financial wherewithal to do a lot of things that folk are doing maybe now or whatever. But I had never been on a plane before. The furthest I had ever traveled was probably to Pittsburgh, from Dayton to Pittsburgh, which is not a long trip, but you know, it was a trip. So just getting to the airport and getting on the plane, man, was mind blowing to me. Let alone getting to London, England, and then having the culture shock of so many different nationalities and people right next. It's like being in New York City. You know what I mean? If you're a little black boy from Dayton, Ohio, on the west side of Dayton, Ohio, and all of a sudden you thrown in New York City or thrown in London, where first of all the accent is different, and then all these other languages coming abroad. When you talk about a learning curve that I had to go through at that time, it was far and beyond, man. And once again, I was the first African American person, and I think I'm actually the first person to get a full ride to this school at that time. And this was back in 86, 87.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I do not hold it lightly, man. So I had to, you know, in our classes, we went to school roughly, I would say about a good 12 hours a day. I mean, you were lucky. We had to be there roughly about 7:30 a.m. and you were lucky if you got out of there by 8 p.m., 9 p.m. You were lucky because you had so much assignments to do that was prepared for the next day. So the learning curve and the learning experience was huge. And the fact that these folk were doing, you know, a lot of these their education level at that time, especially for me, were so much higher than ours. They would read Shakespeare and Moliere and all these classical works like it was comic books, man. And my dumb ass in there like, hey, give me 1 minute. Learning curve, man. So I had to go to the professor and teacher, and I'd be like, listen, I know you ain't like our sight reading classes. That was my hardest subject, the sight reading class. I was like, listen, I know you can't tell me who I'm reading tomorrow. Yeah. But can you please? And this was it, and he pushed it for me. I was like, can you just please tell me which play we're reading tomorrow?
Yeah.
And he wasn't supposed to do that either because it was a sight reading. It was like, hey, boom, y'all, let's go. I need you to bring it to life immediately. And so he was like, okay, you know what? Because you are having a hard time in this class and you take it forever. I will tell you the play. So that meant after my 12-hour-a-day, King Solomon, I would have to go home and then read the whole play, not knowing which role I would have. And not only any of these classics, man, but those books were thick. It wasn't, you know, those plays were thick, man. It wasn't like it's some little paper play. You know, sometimes it could be a good 175 pages of just, you know, at that time was classical dialogue, and it's like whatever. So, and I did it, man. Knock wood, and thank God and the ancestors who followed me and helped me and pushed me through, man. I prevailed, and in the learning and the understanding and the foresight I got from that opportunity and that school. I still work with it today, man. Some of the stuff I find that I just know innately because of that training. It amazes me sometimes, bro.
Well, that's amazing. The whole experience amazing, and the way you were just engrossed in that, and the way that it probably impacted your life, and definitely what your acting consists of now to study in London is really a dream come true. Even in New York, you know, and the fact that you participated in it and didn't, you know, shut down and become a pariah because you were from another country. That's really good, because I probably would have sitting back in class and boycotted. I'm just waiting on Othello. I'm just waiting on Othello. You can have McNett. I'm in the back waiting on Othello. Othello is all I know. That's good. You did do that. So it's amazing, man. So and what was New York? Because, you know, New York is a different ball game from London, LA. And, you know, so what was New York like? I'm sure you was probably ready for New York coming from London, right?
I mean, I would like to think I was, but I'm an older man and a little wiser now, and I realized I wasn't. So after school, man, I left, and I started working on a cruise ship immediately. So so I was traveling back and forth the Eastern and Western Caribbean before I was singing and dancing on this cruise ship. And then it was a dude on the cruise ship who said, you know what, you should come to New York and work in New York. Once again, man, I didn't have the foresight to be like, because I was making good money on this cruise ship. I was getting loaded. I was meeting folk. I was seeing stuff. I was doing some things I was supposed to not be doing, but I was living my. You can take the boy out of the hood, James. You can take the boy out of the hood, but you.
A stowaway, huh? Man, I tell you.
And then he was like, you know what, you should come to New York and audition for New York. I think you do really well there. And you know, I was like, hey, why not? Let's give this a try. And luckily he did say that. I got to the city, and I had said I was able enough to save up enough money off the cruise ship, knowing that I was going to go to the city. And when I got there, it was hard because, you know, I got the reality of how valued sometimes Black actors are in the city, especially, you know, this was the late 80s, early 90s. And we weren't really. We had a slot, we had a position, we had a space, and that's the only place they wanted to keep us. There was a paper at the time. I don't know if it still exists. It might be online now. It was called Backstage. It was called Backstage, and you would get that paper, and I think it came out every Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. You would kind of read what the auditions were if you didn't have an agent, because I didn't have an agent when I came to the city. You would find out, you know, what auditions are going on in them, and then I realized early on that musicals pay more than straight plays. And my Black behind didn't have any money, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna concentrate on the musicals because I can go up here and do these for 6 weeks and get a little bit more than the play would. And I'll be like, I'll go back to the plays. You know what I mean? But as life has it, man, I started to get gigs slowly but surely, and then I met my ex-wife, and then we got pregnant with Curtis Jr. And then subsequently quickly after that, we got pregnant with Isis, and then we got pregnant a good, 7 years later, 4 or 6 years later than that, with Kimani. And changed everything again, man. And I was on a whole different path. And there was a time where then we split up. She decided to leave, and she left me with Curtis, Isis, and Kimani. And then I was a single dad in New York City, man, pushing the stroller around with these 2 little mugs, these 3 little people, living our lives, man. And we made it through. We did what we needed to do. It was a
And,
tough, hard road.
and then Broadway. How did you get that's amazing. How was that like doing Broadway?
I paid my dues, bro. It wasn't easy. I mean, I had done a lot of regional theater. I had done a lot of musicals all over the country. I had been on tour for Miss Saigon for a couple of years. And then Broadway came calling once I came off the tour. It was actually Miss Saigon who gave me my first real introduction into Broadway. And that's a goal of any actor, you know what I mean? To be on that Broadway stage and have those lights hit me. And I had the honor of doing one of the lead roles. I was an understudy and I got an opportunity for a while on Broadway to do John in this musical. Man, there's nothing like standing on the stage and it's all black and that light's hitting you and you know there's like 1,500 people out there and you singing this solo song and it's like, wow, where the hell am I, man? And then that applause, or maybe not the applause, depending on how you perform, comes or not comes. And it was, I knew that this was, I mean, I always knew, even growing up, that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be, but having that feeling, man, and having that accolation and that expression on stage really showed me this is where I'm supposed to be and this is how I'm supposed to live my life. And you know, I would say once I got out of school and came back to the States, I haven't looked back, man. I love this craft. I love acting to the nth degree, and I cannot imagine myself doing anything else. And I keep learning at it and keep making sure that I'm on top of the craft at any point in all points, bro.
Well, let's get right into it. How did you land the role of the Shy? Like, how did that even come about? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. So I went into Showtime's and Fox's office with my guns blaring. I said, "Y'all better give me a role in this show."
I know. Crazy.
I mean, it came, man. I'm joking, of course. Anybody out there, I'm joking. That was a joke.
Yeah.
It came like most things can come. You know, I had an audition. Funny story. I don't think I've ever said this to anybody. So you get an exclusive here, King Solomon. You know the first.
That's what we do. Exclusive. There you go. Breaking news. That's what we love. We love exclusives.
You won't even understand it. Like now, in retrospect, it's like no way. But you know, at the time, my first role I auditioned for the Shy was Darnell, Emmett's dad. Right. And, you know, and I was like, I was down. I was like, oh, I'm going to get this role, you know, whatever. You know, me and Yolanda, the same complexion or whatever. I was like, that's a little odd. I don't know how we have this little light-skinned baby, but I don't know. You know what I mean?
It happens,
right? And so, and of course I didn't because Rolando was amazing in that role. And I can't imagine anybody else doing it besides him. And of course, like anything, you're like, okay, well, you didn't get that, whatever. And then the next role came. Audition for the show came back and it was Duda. It was actually his name was Otis Perry. They didn't mention the name Duda yet.
Otis Perry, yeah.
And but what Carmen Cuba said, who was the casting director for the role, she said, you know, we need this dude to be able to do two sides of the coin.
Okay.
But what we do not want from this guy is that it's so blaring that it's like, oh, he's evil, and then oh, he's nice. It has to be a seamless line of how these two people come together. And I'm like, oh, you're in my wheelhouse. You know, I'm waiting for somebody to ask me to do something like that. And so I laid it down, man, and, you know, fingers crossed and whatever. And, you know, and once again, the ancestors and the gods, you know, say, you know, this is where you're supposed to be. And I was gifted this role, but that's how I got it. It was like, you know, through the regular course of all things.
That's amazing. And just for the sake of casting and also to mention the guy who did get Darnell, he is hilarious in that role as Darnell. So that would have been.
That's what I'm saying, man. Nobody better. I mean, it's
nobody better. He's hilarious.
It's amazing how those things kind of always work themselves out. And that's actors. We just have to, I don't know if there's any actors listening right now. I mean, I feel like sometimes we feel like we can play anything. I can play anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's some aspect that could be true, but there is always a role for you. Continue to go, and that role will find you, and you will find that role, and it will marry up, and it will push you to those places where you will begin to play all kinds of things and all different sorts of things. So,
it's just like you are great in the role of Duda because you just eloquently define the dichotomy of how you have to smoothly transition, and so somehow you did it, and it was right before our eyes because. At one point, you was running the streets, and then next, you running the city. And what was so great about that is that you need that type of that strength or that street know-how. You need all that running a city. You need to know the ins and outs. And so there was nobody more qualified. You're doing a wonderful job. And just the way you transition to doing that, it's amazing because you guys include a lot of current events. It's just amazing to see the city, you know, that I grew up with, so nostalgic, and how you guys are interwoven everything. It's just like, and then the characters and just the topics. It's like you guys got it all. It's amazing. It's like it's never a boring moment in the show. Like how did Lena and then working with Lena Way? Like how you continue to do this? You know?
Yeah, big up to Lena, man.
Big up to Lena
and Justin and Hillen and Showtime and Fox, man. Because some people have these ideas and they have these things, but you don't have a studio or a network who's courageous enough to put it out there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the fact that she, you know, continues to fight and make sure those voices are heard and these stories are being told, it's important, man. And that's not a small thing. And I will forever give her flowers for doing stuff like that, man. And pushing like that, man. I'm very, very proud to be a part of this part of it.
And to watch Candace Burris transition also into an actress, like that was amazing because she just, I mean, she found it. She found that character and she is killing it. You guys are doing such a wonderful job on this show. It's amazing. So what has been your best memory so far doing this show? What has been the greatest part about doing this show so far?
Oh man, I don't know if I can pick out one thing. It's been this show has brought me so much joy, man. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have been on a lot of different sets, and unfortunately, on those sets, you don't get to see a lot of black and brown faces behind the cameras, or even in front of the camera sometimes. And I remember when I first got there in season 2 of The Chi, it was almost like a culture shock to me, man. Where I walked through and I just saw all these folk who looked like me, man. And I'm talking about from the PAs to the directors to the producers to Crafty and hair. I was like, wow, man, and doing their jobs to the nth degree like we do. You know what I mean? When we have a job and we love what we do, we do it. So it was that is, I would never take away that memory of how it felt when I saw all of us working together like that and in those high positions. So that would be definitely a great memory. And getting to know the cast members, you know, getting to have this ensemble feel of a show, which is always beautiful to me, where it doesn't feel like anybody is the head lead and everybody's kind of catering to that. Everybody has their sections and their, you know, their part in the show, and it's just as valuable as the other person's part. So it becomes like this whole family that's rising together. I love shit like that as well. Excuse my language, but and then there's and then it's the work, man. It's the work of this character that is actually challenging, because sometimes in our television show, sometimes you get a role and you're forced sometimes to be a one-note character. You're forced to just be bad, just to be evil, just to be the you know what I mean? And although you're like, hey, I want to add a little this, or they're like, we have somebody over here doing that section. You know, so just stay this lane. And I understand that. I get that. But the fact that Showtime, Lena, and Fox 21 are what's able to say, you know what, hey, no, if you can expand that character and push it, and we're gonna put this in front of you, go for it. And that's an actor's dream, to be able to bring all of themselves into a role, all of their learning stuff, all of their life experience, and all of that, and be able to throw that on the table. And then the other topper is having folk like yourself and other people that kind of, you know, like it, be like, oh my God, I'm digging this dude. He's complex. He's not easy to follow. I don't like him. I do like him. What are we supposed to like? I love shit like that, man. I love when people are confused and they don't know what to do, because you know what I mean? How much do you always know a lot of the time? You just kind of walk your life living.
It definitely has everything. That's good. So it's amazing what she's doing, and definitely just keep it going. But I wanted to ask you, what has been your Hollywood experience so far in the auditioning process, the embracing of other fellow actors? What has been one of your greatest experience? Have you felt embraced since you come into Hollywood, like by other actors? What was some good advice an actor gave you? Right. What was that like?
So I'm funny, bro. I don't know if I will ever consider myself Hollywood or in Hollywood. I live there. I'm on the East Coast. I've spent time there a lot of time, but I am and I've been fortunate enough. This is the first project maybe changing that. I've been fortunate enough to be that guy in that thing. You know, nobody was ever able to put a finger on it. They'd be like, oh, I know. Oh, no, I don't know. You my cousins. Did you date my cousin back in 97? They'd be like, nah, bro, that ain't me. That ain't me. You know, they could never really put it on who I was. And although you look at my list of credits and stuff, I've been around for a long time, and I've been able to work in a lot of different things. At one time, I was known as like the commercial dude. I had like 5, 6 commercials running at the same time. I think I've done over 90 some odd commercials. So people will be like, I definitely know you. So I've always never really considered myself of the establishment, right? Or in the establishment. I try to know of it, but I try not to be in it. But now things are changing. This character is definitely a part of that, where people, sometimes I walk down the street and people are like, do that. I'm like, what's up, bro? And I love it. I'm down, I'm digging. But advice though, something that somebody has said, I just finished working with, I just finished this movie a couple of weeks ago with Glenn Turman. Glenn Turman was Coach Cheese in Cooley High. Or he played Professor someone on Different World. I can't remember his character name. Different World, but and it was something that I had heard before. But once again, just sitting and talking to him, it was like, you know what? Just we have to do the work. A lot of us want fame or notoriety or the job or the gig or whatever instantly without paying the dues and doing the work. If you do the work, all that other stuff will follow. All that other stuff will come. And the work is not easy. You know, he said to me at one point, I get paid because we love acting so much. I get paid to wait. I don't get paid to act. I would act someplace for free because I love it so much. I would do a reading for nothing. It's once I get on these sets, sometimes you sit around and you have to wait for your time to get on the set or whatever. So I'm getting paid now. You want to pay me to sit and wait, because if I'm not waiting, I can go over here and I can be acting someplace else. So also remember that, guys, is that anything that comes quickly, 9 times out of 10 is not going to last. So I mean, it's the journey. It's the journey of what you want to do and how you want to do it, which in the end, once you receive it, and you will receive it if you stay the course, will pay off. It will pay off for you, definitely.
Wow. So that's so wonderful. So you're working on that currently. I'm going to ask you what you're currently working on. And so what's next for Curtis Cook, the actor? Maybe producing, writing. What's next for you?
Man, I am. Any other aspirations within the band? I love acting, bro. I love acting. I love being in front of the camera. I love developing characters. I love trying to find different parts of myself or pieces of myself that I didn't even know was there, or something that's outside of me that I want to try to be and put into a different character. I've directed before. We used to have a theater company back in the city a while back. I've helped produce projects in there, but I don't have like you know what, I really just want to produce or whatever. And not like that, man. I really just want to continue to try to do creative, innovative work that makes people just kind of stand up and listen. You know what I mean? That makes them think in a different way even if for a split second. Yeah, but as far as what projects are next for me, West Side Story is coming out in December. I had the fortune of working with Steven Spielberg in that. And,
amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. And it was a great experience. And it was kind of a full circle moment for me, because I had the other opportunity of working with Arthur Lawrence, who was the original writer of the original West Side Story and other major Broadway plays. And I remember talking to him. He's passed now. I remember talking to him, and he was like, you know, you're a great dude. You're a great actor. You have a lot to offer to the city. I just hope that the city is open and willing to allow you in. I mean, he's a little white Jewish man, and I understood what he meant.
Yeah.
But he also said, don't stop being you, and don't stop doing what you're doing. And the fact that now I'm getting the opportunity to do his musical in a new version for the world to see. How it blows my mind sometimes. So that's coming out, and then like I said, I just wrapped on this movie. The title is Brother's Keeper, I believe. Now that was a working title. It was directed and written by Charles Murray, and it stars myself, Will Catlett, Omar Epps, Glenn Turman, Vanessa Bell Calloway.
Amazing.
And the list goes on, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of people because the cast was. Michael Beach came in at one point. So it was a lot of cool people, man, and that went well, and that I'm sure we'll be hearing about when it's going to come and drop out soon.
Did you get a chance to meet Steven Spielberg or no?
Oh yeah. I mean, he was directing me. I mean, yeah, we sat and talked for a long time. He was talking about how he watches The Shot, and I'm like,
Steven Spielberg is friend of The Shot. Okay.
then, man, you know, I was doubting him, and then he started breaking it down and what was going on, what my character was doing, and I was like, "Oh, okay, hey." And,
they ready for a strong actor to come in and take over. That's wonderful. That's a good thing about your character, because if they thought about typecasting such a strong character, you have showed your versatility. So that's good, because this character definitely has versatility. It's good. It's good. He's saving the city. So that's a wonderful, you know, strongly, but he's saving the city. Defunded the police. It's wonderful. It's amazing. It's amazing. So let them know how to get in touch with you and how to connect with you and everything. And we could finish on out.
Yeah, man. So I'm on the social network. No, what's it called? Social media. I'm on the social media network. Yeah. You see how
Are
good
you on Facebook? You Instagram?
I'm not on Facebook really, but I'm on Instagram. You can catch me on Instagram. That's my name, Curtis Cook, CURTISS, COOK. And then I'm on Twitter as well as CURTISS. We're gonna be live tweeting this weekend for this episode 9 that's coming up. We have 2 more episodes left, man. So buckle in, man. Tighten that seatbelt up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a wild ride.
I know. I gotta get the whole cast on for a panel after you guys go off the air. But I've been watching the cast on Instagram for the 4. Lala did it last week, and what's his name did it the week before. It's been really, really good. Those Instagram live with the cast. So hopefully you get a chance to do that. You did George already? You came on already with somebody?
Yeah, I came on in the beginning. I did
in the beginning.
Candy, when Candy was doing it. I did
it. Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much, man. I couldn't ask for a better interview. I was so excited to have you on. Love the show. Love what you're doing. I know more and more great things is coming from you, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm excited, and definitely come back anytime you have anything to promote, whatever, you're welcome, you know. So for sure. Hopefully we get the panel. When everybody come back again for the all panel.
Hey, bro. I appreciate you, man. Have a great day, bro.
You too, brother. Have a good one next time, brother. Thank you so much. There you go, guys. Another great interview with Hollywood Now with actor Curtis Cook from The Shot. Amazing. And if you guys have not shared this video, please do us a favor and share this video. Make sure you guys subscribe. We are on Facebook, King Solomon Media Group. We on Instagram, King_Solomon_ENT_CO_. We are on YouTube, King Solomon Entertainment. Please, guys, make sure you guys subscribe and share. The great actor, the mayor, Perry Duda, Otis Duda Perry. That's his character on the show, actor Curtis Cook. We're so excited to have him today. Another great interview. We also thanked our sponsors already. And just share, subscribe, man. I thank you guys so much. We're definitely doing wonderful, great things. So hopefully we can get other cast members to come on. Until next time, thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.